Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in Migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now probably midnight last night, the Department of Home Affairs Immigration has announced its 13th edition of the Administration of Immigration and Citizenship Program paper. It's so long, I just don't know why they name it so long, but anyway, it's just an update of what's been happening out there. It's a bulky document, so I would like to go through it briefly with you guys because I don't want to bore you with all the detail in there. So if you wanted to do a search, you probably can find this document there. So it came out, I suspect must be midnight last night, but anyhow, we got it this morning. And I've gone through it. Why didn't I start doing the video this morning? Because it's bulky. It's just how many pages are 55 or something like that. So I need to go through them. So I put some note where the important document or important information is out there. So I'm going to go through briefly in this video all the importance that all the viewer wanted to know. So I'll disregard all those crappy talks and information in the document. So let's just jump in there and have a look some of the insight and information that thus far. So we have gone through almost half of the 2024-25 financial year and see how those stats actually stacked up. Okay, now let me move this over to that side a little bit. So as you can see, this official document has been just came out November 2024, Administration of the Immigration Citizenship Program, 13th edition. I'm not too sure. I've never been to the 12 or 11s or any other edition. But anyhow, let's just go through those information. 55 pages. It's just crazy to actually read them. If you're really bored, want to go sleep before, and you can't get into sleep and you want to read this, will probably help you out for your sleeping disorder. Perhaps you're too stressed on all the immigration policies. Now we suspect there's something gonna announce this month, but we're still waiting. We're on the 4th of November. But anyhow, okay, now the purpose of this, obviously, just let everybody know the numbers and stats introduction. So I would probably just jump through that down to 11.11. It says the key area of future reform. So there's a reform of point test, and we have it was discussed on the 24th of May 2020. Now we don't want to know about May, that was 6 months ago. We want to know when it will be implemented, but it just don't tell us. And there's a regional migration setting. Yes, we know, and it's been discussed since June 2024, but when are they gonna implement it? We don't know. So the problem with this document is all talking about the past information, but some of these past information and historical data could actually help us to predict what's coming up in the future and what has been happened, not just by saying it, but we see some numbers. There's some budgets being thrown into the immigration sector. So there's 3.9 million for 2024-25 transition and 1.4 million on the creation of the National Innovation Visa, which should be coming out very, very soon together with the Skills in Demand Visa. But we only got a few weeks to go on to the end of the year, but let's see what happens. There's been money thrown into data matching for ATO and also the employment sponsor visas, just to see all these employment sponsor applicants has been paid correctly from the employer, because they are cracking down those dodgy employers out there as well. So that's the employment exploitations, migrant exploitation out there. 15 mil, that's a lot of money on this year. On education package empowering migrant worker, not too sure how they're gonna educate that with 15 million. Don't know. Anyway, okay, let's continue. These are just some board number, and they talked about the refusal increase has increased. They were 2.3 million now in total. I think there's a decrease of number of application. There has been from this document here has been regularly talked about annually. There's about 8 million visa application. That's including all the refusal, grant, visitor visa, and all that kind of stuff. So, but this year we have been through about half, and we only got 2.3, so the dramatically drop on the visa application, and there's an increase of refusals as well, because last year was 468,000 refusal, but this year we got 505. So there's an increase of refusal. Obviously, we know the criteria has been raised for numbers of different visa criteria out there. So as you can see, that's the non-humanitarian. So that's the usual visa applications. Now it used to be that much, not many, and now we are only about halfway to the 2024-25 financial year, and we are only down here. So that means I think the Labour government is pushing this document out to actually just show the public that they are in control of the migration. It's not disorder like how the other opposition is actually talking about. So they want to show this figure to actually demonstrate they are in control. So if we times this amount by another half, another two, double it, that'll be a full year. So it will be only about right here. Then that will still be dramatically lower, probably half of what they have done last year. So they just want to let the public know that they're in control of the net migration. So that's what they have been trying to say. And there's been delays on some visas, not dramatically, but anyway, that's what's been happening out there. Net migration, here we go. That's the key here for this report. Basically saying they are, as I said, they have done they're trying to demonstrate they have done quite a good job. So, and department grants approximately 8 million temporary visa each year, but as you see, this year there's only 2.3 million been applied through, but there's numbers of increase on the visa refusals. Now, net migration Australia, so as you can see, after COVID it went right up there, and now it's looking towards downwards, and we will see further on the stats and numbers. I believe these numbers and stats are pretty accurate, just to show us the government is trying to control the migration numbers there. So this is already announced. So in the past 2023 and 24, there were net migration 395,000. 2024-25 will manage down to 260,000, and continue next year will be 255,000, and 26-27 onwards will manage at the level of 235,000. So that's what they're trying to do. That's going back probably about 4 or 5 years average. Basically what we have seen today, they're cutting out a lot of temporary visa application. That's including student visa as well. So we'll see that with some numbers once we continue to go on. So temporary visa there, as you can see, there is some little bit of increase there. And you see that special category visa, that's for all the Kiwis. So you see they are actually the bulk, the largest quantity of temporary visa holder are from New Zealand. So it didn't even decrease, it actually grew a little bit. And bridging visa, it's just people are waiting for the visa there. So I suspect there's a lot of people is lodging for appeal and things like that. Now, number of temporary visa holder has increased, so they are looking to cut this dramatically down there. Visitor visa, not too much of an issue there, but as you can see on this graph, it's very interesting that the visitor visa now, the refusal rate is quite high, because you see that the red bar there is quite high. It's killing a lot of the people applying from like China, Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries. There's a lot of refusals, and a lot of refusals coming from the subclass 600 visa. That's trying to say the electronic ones, the 601 or 651, generally have a very high grant rate, but they are now in control. They're cutting a lot of and refusing a lot of visitor visa, as you can see there. So up until now, almost half year. We only got about here, so it's not even gonna be half of what used to be in last year or the year before. So that's visitor visa there. Student visa, very interesting one. They increased the price on visa application. Now here we go. Look at this. This is crazy. That's what I'm trying to say. The international education sector is killing. Okay, now that's not even a quarter of the previous 2 years average, and the refusal rate continue to rise. That's what I'm trying to say. Stay away from the vet courses, because that's gonna be a killer, and there will be a lot of schools and institutions closed down. So that is a major thing. Just gotta be reading all the detail there, but if you're looking into the graph, that actually tells a lot, right? Okay, and some numbers just stack up with different type of student visa, so I'll just skip that for those detailed there, as the graph probably had demonstrate more than just reading the numbers, because we don't want to spend time adding things up. That's just waste of money and time. Okay, the temporary graduate visa. Now the Hong Kong and British national overseas were the only one continue to stay the same. All the other one will be under the new criteria. By means the age has to be under 35. There's an exemption on the research candidates or graduates for PhD or master by research. All the other things will follow the same. It's just as usual. Working holiday makers, we see this graph for working holiday makers, dramatic drop as well. Just a little bit higher than what the post-COVID, but there has been a dramatic drop compared to the previous year. So we can see an overall drop of the visa application throughout different sector there. Now, these are the most frequent nominated occupation for the employment sponsor visa. So just go through that. Mostly it's hospitality, mechanics, construction. There's only one IT there and one marketing specialist, and well, that's just as a reference. That doesn't tell much as well. There's the HK industry, and there's a lot of problem in the HK industry. You're required to go through the Dharma program, but some agents trying to promote heavily. But if you want to get into HK, you need to study vet courses, and vet course has a high student visa refusal rate. So don't know how that will work in the future. Now continue to go on. The Pacific Mobility Scheme. There's only a few people got granted. There's how many? What's the number? There 5,000 people. So it's not a major. Doesn't provide major changes there, and it's all in the local system, so not much in control there. So let's skip that. Bridging visa, that's boring. That doesn't tell us anything. Migration program. All right. So we see the skill migration, family migration altogether. Now the quota, that's how has already been, we've talked about this. It's actually a migration planning web page in the immigration website. So this year we have a total of 185,000, and we see that the all the differences changes in numbers of countries. From India is the number one, China, Philippines, Nepal, UK, Pakistan, Vietnam, Sri Lanka. Now this will dramatically change in the coming 3 to 5 years, because the world is fastly changing nowadays. We all know about skill migration program. There's going to be a new change on the point test system. This is interesting. So employment sponsor, so 2024, 25, and 20 compared to 23, 24, dramatic drop. Look at this. Even if we times 2, it's not even meeting half of the last year's number. Also as the skill independent. Still, it's not even half of that. I'm not too sure. And look at this state and territory. There's only 2,002 compared to last year. There's 20,000. That's like 90% drop. I'm not too sure how they're going to meet that with the meeting requirement there. There's huge. So that means 2021-25. There's technically a huge drop of the number. I'm not too sure how they're going to meet 185,000 of that. If we look at this goal there, 185 down up there, and 185,000 goal, because this number just doesn't stack up. And global talent, look at this. Last year was 6,222 and 28. Now since July, there's only 790. How are they going to meet up? That's I'm not too sure how they get it. That's about 70 to 80% drop of all these numbers. So this year is actually killer. Okay, regional, same thing. If you look at 2024-25, there's only a total of 7,559 compared to last year, the 35,000. I understand it's only half year, but if you times 2, it's still very much short. 50% shorter than what the expected goal there. So that's the problem there. I'm not too sure how they're gonna play out for next year. Now, Dharma and Biz Global Talent, this is all repeating information. I'm not gonna repeat all that. So let's just sum it up all together. Partner visa, and then all the other processing time, Pacific engagement, talking about humanitarian. So that's all probably not related too much towards our channels all about. So what we have seen in this paper basically show there's a dramatic drop of visa application. That's including every type of visa, visitor visa, student visa, skill migration, everything. And if you look into the skill migration, there's even probably more than 50 to 70% drop of the total number, unless starting from January 2025 towards until the end of June, they're gonna have massive number of invitation and massive grant on employment sponsor visa, and a massive number on global talent or the national innovation visa. Else, I don't think they're gonna meet 185,000 goal. I don't know how that will actually work, because the number just doesn't stack up. It's just so far from last year's figure, and last year the goal was aiming at 190. Now I suspect last year's number, because the invitation wasn't that many as well, but this year is probably just dry up everybody. And I think the goal is to control. Yes, they are in control of net migration. I think there's more political sense towards what they're gonna do on the general elections in May 2025. Anyway, if you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.